The Minnesota Vikings franchise is currently caught in one of the most agonizing organizational dilemmas in modern football, and the entire crisis can be summed up with 3 words: the J.J. McCarthy experiment. This wasn't supposed to be a difficult chapter. It was supposed to be the seamless transition into a decade of contention, anchored by a cheap, high-ceiling rookie quarterback who would blow the Super Bowl window wide open. Instead, what we have witnessed through the first half of the 2025 campaign is a slow, methodical organizational breakdown, a relentless erosion of confidence, and the painful realization that handing the keys to a sophomore quarterback who is stumbling at every crucial juncture may have been a catastrophic mistake. They permitted 2 quarterbacks of MVP caliber, one in Sam Darnold and one in Daniel Jones, to walk out the door, believing they had the answer to replace them. That answer is now delivering a product that looks less like a franchise quarterback and more like a significant liability for a team that just 1 year ago proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that its roster was ready to compete for a championship, sir. The window for a veteran-laden team is not just open, it is screaming to be walked through. Yet the Vikings appear to be stuck frustratingly in neutral. It begs the paramount question: what precisely has gone wrong? And how did the highly touted J.J. McCarthy experiment crash so quickly? The hype surrounding McCarthy's arrival was borderline stratospheric, largely fueled by his collegiate coach, Jim Harbaugh, who championed him with a zeal usually reserved for religious texts. Harbaugh, a figure whose opinions carry weight, declared that McCarthy's pro day was the greatest he had ever witnessed and boldly claimed that his quarterback should be the #1 overall pick, surpassing names like Caleb Williams and, in retrospect, the now phenomenal Drake May. While some of this must be seen as the proud rhetoric of a coach backing his champion, it was rooted in undeniable success. McCarthy's collegiate resume, culminating in a national championship at Michigan, showed a quarterback who knew how to win, boasting an incredible 27. His 2023 season was perfect, going 15-0 and securing the title. This profile, a winner, athletic, and possessing the requisite arm strength, was precisely the mold that NFL evaluators look to select in the first round. Yeah! However, the one crucial piece of context that was either overlooked or willingly dismissed was how little McCarthy was actually asked to do to achieve that success. The Wolverines' championship identity was forged in the trenches, running the football down the throats of their opponents. During that championship season, Michigan averaged a mere 25.6 pass attempts per game, a staggering figure that ranked 121st out of 136 colleges in the nation. In the national championship game itself, a victory secured over Washington, McCarthy completed only 10 of 18 attempts for 140 yards, content to manage the game while his running backs ran rampant. This low volume of passing dictated that NFL scouts and analysts were working with severely limited tape, creating widely divergent opinions. On one extreme, you had Harbaugh's glowing endorsements. On the other, you had voices like Tiki Barber, who famously stated that McCarthy's film did not scream first-round quarterback, and that the Michigan scheme failed to highlight the complex processing. Stuxton third. Combination routes required to succeed in the NFL. Barber's skepticism, sadly, has proven to be an accurate prognosis for the 2025 season. The reality of McCarthy's sophomore season, essentially his true rookie campaign after missing his entire first year due to a knee injury, has been one of consistent disappointment. While he deserves an asterisk for his delayed start, the non-negotiable flaw for an NFL quarterback is the mastery of basic fundamentals, and the most crucial of these is accuracy. The absolute baseline requirement for any professional passer is the ability to hit a wide-open receiver when protected well. The alarming issue is that McCarthy is not merely inaccurate. He is often missing his targets by margins so wide that the ball lands in a different zip code, leaving his receivers confused about the intended recipient. His statistics after 5 starts are concerning. A completion percentage of just 52.9%, an average of 168 passing yards per game, and a disastrous touchdown to interception ratio of 6 to 8. This culminates in a quarterback rating of a meager 26.6, a number that places him in dangerous and unwanted historical company. To put that rating into perspective, it ranks him unfavourably against quarterbacks widely considered recent busts. Will Levis, the year before, produced a 25.2 rating, and even Zach Wilson's worst year with the Jets hovered between 31 and 38. While it is far too early to officially write him off, McCarthy's immediate statistical output is ringing every alarm bell in the building. Exacerbated by the fact that he has thrown an interception in each of his first 5 career starts, joining the ranks of quarterbacks like Deshaun Kaiser and Blake Bortles for a streak no young player wants to own. The problems are not just mental, they are deeply rooted in his mechanical processes. So, McCarthy appears visibly jittery and rushed in the pocket, rarely setting a solid, consistent base, which is foundational to accurate passing. Compounding this, he seems unable to vary his passing tempo, delivering every throw, whether it is a screen pass or a deep out, with maximum velocity, showcasing a quarterback who is uncomfortable, lacking confidence. And trying to compensate for late processing by getting the ball out as quickly and powerfully as possible. These deep-seated fundamental flaws require time and focused coaching to iron out. Unfortunately, the Vikings do not have the luxury of time for a prolonged development period. The team is saturated with veterans who are acutely aware that their window for a championship is ephemeral. The expectation, set by the team's magical 2024 run to a 14-3 record, was that this roster was a competent quarterback, away from genuine Super Bowl contention. This previous success was both a blessing and a curse. It filled the fanbase with hope but piled immense and perhaps unfair pressure onto the young quarterback. The conventional wisdom of pairing a rookie with veterans for mentorship has backfired spectacularly. These veterans, knowing they have a competitive roster, are not viewing McCarthy as a young project to nurture. They are viewing him as the anchor that is actively sinking their championship opportunity. No player embodies this existential pressure more visibly than Justin Jefferson, one of the premier wide receivers in the entire league. His frustrations have become a recurring subplot in the team's losses. Jefferson's elite route running repeatedly generates massive separation, getting him wide open, only for him to watch the football sail high, low, or out of bounds, instead of landing directly into his hands. His falling production is a direct reflection of the quarterback's struggles, and this inability to capitalize on a generational talent is a morale killer, both for Jefferson and the entire offensive unit. The decision by the front office to prioritize the rookie contract window, a financial incentive that extends the team's competitive viability over securing a known commodity for the present, has cost them dearly. While Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are thriving on other teams, leading their respective organizations to unexpected success, the Minnesota Vikings, now sitting at a disappointing 4-6, look comfortably like the worst team in the NFC North. A position that is intolerable for a veteran-ready roster. It would be completely premature to declare J.J. McCarthy an irredeemable bust after only 5 NFL starts. And the argument must always be tempered by the small sample size and a handful of impressive flashes he has shown. Such as the fantastic fourth-quarter comeback in Week 1 against the Chicago Bears. However, the current trajectory is undeniably a massive failure of the experiment. The question for the Vikings organization now shifts from, can he improve? To do we have the institutional patience to wait for that improvement? Can McCarthy stabilize his play and finish the season strong? And if he cannot, the Vikings front office will face an agonizing decision this offseason. To double down on the faith they showed in a top 10 pick or to pivot and bring in a veteran quarterback who can immediately maximize the potential of one of the NFL best receiving attackers. One of the league's best offensive minds in Kevin O'Connell and a top-tier defensive coordinator in Brian Flores. Time is still on the side of McCarthy's career, but it is rapidly running out on the side of the Minnesota Vikings championship window. Ball